just want a feedback. Yes, to record here. So now, looking at everything, showing you how it looks. So now, do you think this application is helpful and aids you to edit and view your 3D model of the building in a better way? If yes, then how? And if no, then why not?
No, it definitely helps. After 3D, what comes out, the result is very good.
Yeah.
Idea of editing, I'm not yet convinced about it because we have our own specific material. We are very particular. We don't use materials which are available on the website or something. We generally scan our materials or we photograph our material and create our own library. Hopefully, I'm able to.
Yeah, you can. That's what they said. So once you have your own textures, you can put it on a laptop.
Once it is done, the best application for this is instead of carrying a laptop,
exactly.
you do it on your mobile or when your client is sitting here. Nowadays, the client doesn't need to come to my office. He can sit in his comfort of his living his den, and we can sit over here. We can have a video conferencing, and we can keep explaining him the whole thing.
You can make the model public, and you can also view it, and he can also view it, and you can discuss it over Skype or something.
Discuss it. So that cuts the time of the client coming here, investing in time.
Basically convenience.
Convenience. So that is what I found.
So now, do you think this application will help architects to make more explicit design shapes of buildings and make more visually beautiful buildings?
I don't agree with that because whatever we make basically is on AutoCAD is my base.
Okay.
Then is my 3D,
right,
which is there.
Right.
So I'm enhancing can be done on 3D also. Okay. The only advantage this is giving me is I'm placing a realistic background, whereby we create an artificial background.
You are actually placing in the real world.
I'm placing in real world.
Real world.
On the live side.
Not got it. Live size. Exactly. In other applications, you've been making artificial backgrounds, whereas in this, you actually live. You can place it, and you can place it
in there through 3D में गौतम you have an artificial background बनाता ना. अभी अपना बदलापुर बंगलो हम लोग में we had the bungalow and the rest of the background was artificial. Here you can click the whole photo of that real thing scenario where we clicked in with drone and everything.
And then
no, we just need we need to.
You have the model on the app.
Yeah.
You go there.
See, you're not getting me. Supposing this is a bungalow, this is a land. I cannot take this. I have to have an aerial view of that.
Exactly.
And I have to see.
Yeah, so you have to move around.
I either make various videos and everything and then click it on that. I get a more realistic background.
Yeah,
which till date were unrealistic. Till date, I'll tell you how even for buildings we used to take photographs and then we used to collage the photograph of our new building and put it and then adjust. Here I can real time do it.
Real time. You can go there, actually place the.
So what you're saying that it will help me to make a building beautiful? It will not.
It won't help you to make much better buildings.
No. It will help me to give a background and it makes me more simpler by not
presentable.
Presentation, yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So it helps you to make it. So now, do you think that this application can actually be the future? I wouldn't say future of building design, but do you think it will help them? In any form. Do you think this application can become one of the most important applications of building design and doing it in the future?
Again, I'm design part. I'm not convinced because I'm designing everything on a 3D and this helps me, like he said, it helps me for presentation, and this helps me to actually, because nowadays the designs have come up in such a way that my building looks realistic. Today my views or something looks realistic. The building actually, if I take a photograph, it will look as if, but then I don't get the photographs of background.
Exactly.
So if I get a photograph of background, if I can do that reality check, I can actually place the building in the real background. Because nowadays, if you go to Google Satellite, if you subscribe for it, you can get the images the way you want. You can make that into a real time and you can place that and your building will be standing over there with the real surround. So it will help me for presentation. It will help me look my building more realistic with the surroundings.
Exactly.
The surrounding things I'm convinced, the convenience of client is taken care of. So but it is not helping me to design it.
So according to you, the only advantage is that you can actually view the building realistically, in the sense not even clicking pictures of real backgrounds and then placing, but you can actually view it at the present time in real time.
Yes.
According to you, that's the most.
See, till now, when Gautam also designs, what he does is, Gautam, you take a background and then you place your item over there, supposing. Here, you can do the 3D model and take the realistic photo and then place it. Today, for example, Nilesh's house only, if you take the bed, remove the bed. Now here you can take various rooms done and show them this bed how it is going to look them instead of this bed how the background can be changed.
Exactly. So actually that's what. So you don't even need to take photos of your backgrounds and then so this app actually you don't need to do anything. You have a model, it'll access your mobile's camera and let's suppose now this was my own room and you're placing suppose this table. I have this model of the table on my thing. I can actually stand up and like that in present time. I don't have to take any photo.
What happens
Exactly.
do it.
But what about the scale?
Exactly.
Scale is also a problem because
Depends on the device you're using.
Scale is again in 3D.
Yeah.
Second thing, when you say that how this table is going to look, is that helps me when I'm refurbishing a room. If I'm refurbishing this office, I can tell you how this table. But here, when I'm doing it from scratch, this office room, the interiors are not ready, and we are showing the clients before the interiors are done. Today, when your flat was done or something, please, any work happening in your place, it was a bare shell. That's the time we give the presentation. That's the time nothing was ready. But there were ideas. Our ideas, the 3D software was able to click that ideas. And the only thing is my background. This is more helpful for architectural project than interiors.
Exactly.
Interiors, see, changing sofa colors, fabrics can be done by the sailors who basically sell sofas and everything. They can show you how this fabric looks. That is not of our interest. My interest is building interiors because we do it from scratch. I don't have a background. Here the room was not ready when I had done this. So if I have to refurbish, then maybe it helps. But we don't take refurbishment projects. I don't just want to come and design that. If I come in, I'll say break the whole office and we'll do it from our way. Same way. Yes, building wise, what scalability is an
yeah, because
you have
it
to
is in
think.
3, yeah, it is in 3D, and while you are live on that site, how are you going to place it? Because ultimately height, no, you cannot do it, because when you scale it now, if you see here also, if you place it on your hand, then also the building scale and your hand, where your hand is, it is lot of difference. It understood.
So what happens is that this application, suppose I'm standing in my house, my balcony, and there's a garden right opposite the house. Suppose I already have a building come model on my phone. I can stand in my balcony and automatically scales the garden for me. So you might think that the device is small, big, you cannot scale it properly, or you can't see the entire building properly. But when I place the building,
when I place the building little ahead, it will take that scale, and when I
exactly, it's auto scalability.
let us see.
Scalability
is an I don't know. We are not used so scalability
because live scale is
if you're seeing this is your 5 gardens. If I want to place the building here, the scale will be different, and if I want to place the building over there, the scale will be different.
Yeah, so exactly. So this was
Because the rest of the buildings are there. That is to the scale.
yeah.
So basic scaling is like he will always say, you can't just scale. नीचे नहीं कर सकते. You can't do it. It expands cross. It expands crossway. Diagonal. Cross means diagonal. So till the time you don't use it and see it, you
exactly. So that's why this application actually, I'm not too sure if I understood your question properly. But then what I'm saying is that suppose this was your garden and you want to place a building. You might think that okay, the building is in a miniature size compared to the entire garden. What happens is that this application itself automatically scales the garden and places the building to make it look maximum realistic as possible.
But that is by your finger touch, right? That is when you do it.
Yeah, so that's why you have to place the building.
Yeah, but then the area of the garden and the size of your building, there is a difference, because see, when you do it on laptops, no, that time it is, the scale is written 1:5, 1:100. The background is also scaled. Now your background is scaled, but your
we create.
Huh.
Background to the scale of the building, you create the background. If you're making a building a view, to the building views, you create the rest of the model, whether you want it more taller building, shorter building, scale it as per that. Because we use it on a scale. Here there is no scale, so unless and until you don't
use
the
exactly.
application.
So suppose you have a barren land and you made a building. Now, if you just want to view the building in real time, how it actually look, you might be concerned as to the garden is not in proper scale compared to the building. The building might just look this much, whereas the garden is that big. What the application does is that it'll construct the building and take the scale of this so as to fit on your own device.
No, no.
But how?
What you're saying is it will take the photo of this and it will take the photo of my building
it will
and
take
it
the
will
photo.
photo or whatever.
Yeah.
It will scale it to view it on your screen, right? To any device. I'm
Yeah.
not concerned of this screen.
Right.
I'm concerned realistically
Realistic.
when the building is placed. Everything works with a scale.
Exactly.
So maybe when you use the
Use it.
application, you will come to the
Yeah.
What?
So yeah, those are the questions. Yeah, those are the questions.
Done.
So basically, use of the main benefit of this application is just for real presentation in real time. Correct?
True.
You are not yet convinced if it will help in designing the building, but
I'm not yet convinced whether it will help me in designing the building because you saw the sofa also, you saw the chair also. It was a pre-model which was so the main skills goes in designing that sofa or that chair. It is not just we generally don't take models picked up from the software. We create our own models because if you see any places that we do, our things are not repetitive. We make it customized as per that. So those are never available on the softwares.
yeah, exactly.
So we customize.
Yeah, so that's all. So what this application obviously is just your own customized model is put onto this
It
application.
enhances my background.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps me in presentation, and the second thing, mobile app I like is communication.
Communication.
It cuts my time. I can tell the client to stay in this place and we from here can do a video conferencing and that's it. The client doesn't have to
And
come.
you can view it in real time and exactly how you
That is after the first presentation. For the second presentation.
Yeah. Cool.